Hello, we come to the end of another monumental day in British politics. And I come to the end of a day when I've been staggering around. I can barely function. And I just went to the local shop. And the local shopkeeper there, Nick, who's wonderful, said that I should have been warned. I should not have had a COVID and a flu vaccine on the same day. This is calculated to knock people out. Well, I didn't realize, and I must say I am textbook here. I can barely stagger around. However, this is a day when I think we should be celebrating as a nation. And it's got very little to do with whether we have a political allegiance to the right or the left or to this faction or that faction. We should be celebrating the fact that on Diwali, the first British Asian has become Prime Minister, or we have as Prime Minister a British Asian now. This is something we should be intensely proud of. This is normalizing our multicultural, multiracial society. This is celebrating the best that anybody can set their sights to the top jobs and achieve it. Anybody. This is achievable. It is doable. And I hope children in primary schools and secondary schools will look up to Rishi Sunak's astonishing achievement as the youngest Prime Minister in many years, younger now, I think, than Blair was when he became Prime Minister, younger, I think, than Cameron was when he became Prime Minister. This is the country that has made it happen. We should be intensely proud of our country this evening. And what else? Oh my goodness. The rest of it is so squalid. Nadine Dorries and the ERG people are already on campaign mode. Nadine Dorries, I think, basically is trying to deflect any sort of attention to the coming disaster that's waiting to hit her, which will be the Privileges Committee invitation, and she will be required to testify, or at least to be examined, about the idea that she lied to the Digital Culture, Media and Sport Committee. Lied egregiously. They weren't even asking her questions at that point, and she just told a complete tale which belittled another person who didn't have the opportunity to answer back. Scurrilous and wretched, and this is what some ministers were doing with their time. They had an opportunity to change our system for the better, and instead they were fiddling around with tittle-tattle and rubbish and standing on the side saying, rah, rah, Boris. Boris has many, many good qualities. Many good qualities. You only have to look at the story Johnny Mercer tells about Boris's loyalty to veterans, a loyalty that was not paralleled by Liz Truss, who threw Johnny Mercer and the veterans under the bus. Another person who I would be very happy to see the back of, frankly. I don't like to think ill of people, and I don't like to think of people on the way down. But Liz Truss has brought our country to its knees, and I think much of her folly was the basic stupidity and laziness of not reading her brief, of relying on summaries. We can't rely on summaries if we're in the top job. We need to be abreast of the information. And one of the things that I think is so impressive and positive about Rishi Sunak is I believe he puts in the hours, he puts in the work, and we need to get back to that image of somebody who burns the midnight oil for the country. who is prepared to put in the time. I mean, my goodness, he's had a very, very quick rise to power. 7 years in Parliament. 7 years. And I was going to say his shortest, but I think he probably is also, in terms of height, one of the shortest prime ministers we have ever had. But he has, in those 7 years, emerged as a person who has a reputation for economic prudence and for foresight. He was the person who said that what Liz Truss was proposing was folly. And the only thing which is worrying, well, there are many things which are worrying, but one thing in particular that is worrying is that maybe Rishi doesn't have the political hinterland to command the support of all the people, all the various factions across his party that he needs to unite and keep united over the next 2 years. And that's only so that the Conservative Party can emerge as a solid party of opposition. I don't think under anybody the Conservative Party could be turned into a winner. And possibly at this stage, nor does it deserve it, nor should it. But to be a good government, whoever is in power at the next election needs to be facing a credible and solid opposition. And that's what I think Rishi can create. Rishi can create that in a way that I think Boris could not. And one of the things which I find so extraordinary about Boris's sudden emergence and his bid for the top job again, quite apart from the stupidity of it all, quite apart from the fact that he was claiming that he'd got 102 proposers and was withdrawing because he didn't think it was the right time. Complete rubbish. Poppycock. Boris had barely 50 proposers. Nobody who was going to propose Boris was going to be silent about it. He didn't have the numbers. In the same way as Penny Mordaunt didn't have the numbers, it was all bluff. And I find it sort of sad that at the point when he pulls out, he still couldn't tell the truth. But sadder still is, why was he on holiday at the beginning of the parliamentary term? Why was he on holiday? Surely he had constituency work to do. What about his Uxbridge constituents or wherever he's an MP for? Surely they would be asking, where is he? Why isn't he doing work for us? Is he doing surgeries? No, where is he? Is he answering mail? Why is he not asking important questions in the House? Or does he delegate all that to Nadine Dorries? And if he does, is that the right person to be doing his constituency work? There's something fishy and inappropriate going on in Boris, and has been for a while. And again, I don't wish to gloat over somebody on the way down. And I'm sure he's going to make quite enough money, and he's a, life and soul of the party, but not this Conservative Party. And he'll make plenty of money in after-dinner speeches, and he'll be fine. And similarly, Nadine Dorries will be fine. She can make some more books. Just get out of Parliament and stop pretending to be something that she isn't.